This is Dos Pequeños,
a funnier look at the paranormal in New Mexico.
with your co-ghosts, Eric Carter Landine.
And Alex.
What's up, Alex?
Hey, Eric. How you doing?
I'm good. I made you come a little bit later because I was making a cake for Easter.
Easter cake.
Easter cake, which is made just out of eggs. It's basically a bunch of boiled eggs that are just shoved into a tin, and I'm calling it a cake. I put a lot of sugar in it, though, so hopefully it'll taste good.
Yeah.
No.
Well, sugar and eggs.
Right.
I mean,
It's the
that's how I
perfect-
eat my
It's
hard-boiled
the
eggs.
perfect combination.
I just sprinkle sugar on my eggs and go from there.
There's also a lemon icing drizzle on top as well. So
Nice. I'm really glad to be back in the studio.
Me too. I'm glad to have a break from the tour for a minute to do some recording for Dos Pequeños.
Yeah, you got a live one coming up in Las Cruces, right?
Yep, on Wednesday the 27th.
Are you traveling down there?
I am.
Okay, so I got confused by the post because it said it was a virtual
There's
event.
a virtual one after that, and then there's Farmington after that.
Okay, cool. Hey, listeners, guess what? We have some new ish coming out monthly, which I'm very excited about as well.
It is our OnlyFans.
They wish. So let's take a minute and talk about it with our listeners. So we're going to be putting out each month, along with our regular show, another kind of sub-show called
Spooky Sheet.
That's right, Spooky Sheet. And what is Spooky Sheet? Well, it will be a show where we find...
Wear a sheet and say boo.
Boo. It's going to be a show where we find spooky ghost stories from New Mexico, the whole U.S., and even from around the globe and share them with you.
And maybe from outer space.
That'll be a weird one to read because I'm not sure if we have the technology to, translate it. I am really excited about it as I love scary stories, and I know you do too.
I love me a scary story.
So we'll be talking spooky stories, both old and new. Be sure to check out this month's one because it's going to be good and a lot of fun.
So wait a minute. So we're going to have 2 episodes a month?
2 episodes.
2 episodes a month? Oh my God. It's almost like we're back to our 4 episodes a month, but we're not.
And, listeners, it'll be great just to listen to a story, then come join us. Even if it, helps you fall asleep and then you have terrible nightmares. Let's make that happen.
Absolutely. And we're going to be reading / plagiarizing from other people's scary stories, but we'll give them credit. So hopefully they don't sue us.
I'm not writing it.
No, dude, we don't have the time to write a scary story for you. Now,
I don't even have time for this show.
Also, not to say anything, but we wouldn't have to resort to this if you guys would send us more of your spooky sheet.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
Oh, maybe this will help
the listener tales.
Yeah.
They can be part of the spooky sheet. Yeah, if you want us to read, or if you have a story suggestion that you want us to read, something that you like that's a spooky story, you don't have to necessarily write it either. Tell us. Maybe buy us the book or something. Don't hold out on us here.
Send us a link or something.
Or something.
We're not going to research
Give us
shit.
a Google Drive file. I don't know.
We're not actually going to do the work.
We're trying to do as little work as possible while also providing you with quality Christian wholesome entertainment.
Wait, was that the goal?
That's always been the goal.
Oops.
Our bad.
Let's talk about a few of the other admin things.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So if you want to support the show, you could do it for free by sharing an episode that you like with a friend. You could review us. You could rate us. You could subscribe or follow us, depending on your platform. Or you could share our content on social media. All of that goes a long way. But if you want to give us money, which we like more than anything in the world, we would gladly take it from you if you go to patreon.com/dosspookquenos or ko-fi.com/dosspookquenos.
Money does rock.
Money's the best.
Hey, shout out to the people that came out to the True Consequence live show, the one that I came to. I think
the Rio Bravo Brewing.
Yeah, the debut. There was a bunch of people there that gave shout outs to DS and
took pictures with us.
Took pictures. I was not prepared for that at all.
Weren't.
People wanted to take pictures with me.
I know you weren't.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Our tens of listeners, all of them showed up that night for that event. You never know who's going to come to a True Consequences live event. It could be Alex. It could be my mom.
Yeah, your mom was there at the last one, huh?
She just showed up. She surprised me, dude. I didn't even know she was coming.
Dude, love her hair.
Yeah, she looks great. She did a good job. So that's what's going on. So catch us on tour. You might see Alex. Then at another one, who knows? We should also talk about CrimeCon for if you're listening to crime, you like true crime, CrimeCon in Vegas on the 28th through the 1st, 28th of April through the 1st of May. If you want to save 10% on your standard badge, you go to crimecon.com and use code True Consequences. And in Dallas, August sometime, True Crime Podcast Festival is now bringing paranormal shows on, and dosspookquenos will be there.
Is that the one we're going to?
That's the one we're going to.
Where is that's in Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, God, I haven't been to Dallas in forever.
In August, it's going to be really hot. It's going to be really hot.
I mean, the good news is in the South, everything is either like swimming or an AC.
Or AC.
Yeah, so it's just going to be hot going out to the car or whatever.
Right, and sitting in the car for the first time. Anyway, nobody cares about this shit. Come meet us in Dallas if you're a listener that's close by, or if you want to come hang out with other podcasters.
If you like want a really long road trip.
If you want to drive 10 hours or you want to fly. Hey, Southwest has like $49 flights, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Why am I still here?
I don't know. Maybe you should go get the stuff set up for August, and I'll meet you there.
Sure.
All right. Sorry, I stole the show. Your turn.
Anywho, let's get to what I have planned for us tonight.
Can't wait.
Okay. You like spooky movies?
I do.
Of course you do, duh.
Yeah.
Well, the story I have for you today has had one of the scariest movies of all time made about it. Any guesses?
Is it Porky's?
Yes. That just showed up on my fucking Amazon Prime, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to watch that again.
Or Police Academy. Remember all those like really shitty comedies?
Oh, the 80s were amazing.
Wild.
Anyway, nope.
No, not those. Okay, how about your favorite movie, Archive 81 or whatever the fuck it is?
That shit got canceled already.
Yeah, it was a really ridiculously slow burn.
It was a slow burn.
It was a slow
I'm
burn.
sorry. I have too much ADD for that.
The end was cool though. It was like culty and weird magic-y, blood magic stuff. It was pretty cool.
Dude, I watched Suspiria last night. Mm-hmm. Crazy movie. It was weird.
What's it on? Amazon?
Oh, God, what was it on? I think it was on Amazon.
I'll check it out.
There was one from 1976 and one that was remade recently. 2.5 hours long. Really intense and weird. Nope.
So is it Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix?
Yes, because that's a true story.
Yep. Oh, true story. True story. Sorry.
Think about it. You know how scary a movie it is when you finish watching it and it says based on a true story.
Oh, yeah. It's not The Shining because that's probably not a true story.
It's kind of a true story, actually.
True-ish story, but not like this weird spiritually, supernaturally stuff.
Exactly. Okay, enough guessing. Let me just come out and say what it, and maybe you'll just stop figuring out. Okay. Ronald Doe. Ring any bells?
No.
Okay, nothing?
No.
Let me tell you about it, and then maybe we can put it all together and see.
Like a puzzle.
Yeah. So let's go back in time, shall we?
Okie dokie. What was going to happen now?
Well, let's go back in time to the year 1949.
Ooh.
This is where you
play a fun year.
cue in 1949 music.
Like jazz?
Ragtime or something?
Ragtime.
Remember?
I do.
Mao Zedong pronounced the Communist People Republic of China. The first Volkswagen Beetle, which was named the People's Car, was sold in the U.S. for the first time. Apartheid begins in South Africa. RCA is a system for broadcasting the first color television.
Ooh.
Also, in 1949, priests had performed an exorcism on a young boy that was referred to as Roland Doe. But his real name might have been Ronald Hunkler.
Okay, so I thought you meant Doe like
a deer,
like the Doughboy,
or John Doe.
Right. I didn't realize it was DOE.
Yeah, DOE.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. No, not Doughboy from Ice Cube. And what's that movie?
I just pictured like a chunky guy named Roland or Ronald or whatever.
Hey, Doughboy. Okay, well, let me give you some more details. In the perfectly beautiful town of Cottage City. Don't you love how these stories begin like that?
Yeah, but that sounds not only made up, but disgusting.
Cottage City. It's not Cottage Cheese City. Maryland, in a beautiful colonial-style home, a young boy by the name of Ronald Doe, a.k.a. Robbie Manaheim, or Ronald Hunkler, lived. Why all the different names?
All made up?
Maybe we can figure it out why.
This kid's a con artist.
This fucking kid's a con artist. Perhaps he's just a weirdo that likes to be called different names. I don't know. We're going to find out. So the home was perfectly normal on the outside, all brick and even some white shutters on the windows. Beautiful trees and bushes made the home look perfect to most that drove by. But
And it's a big butt.
One of the most terrifying horror stories turned urban legend came from the pristine home.
I'm excited because I don't know this story.
I didn't either.
Which is cool.
A boy that lived there that was 13 years old, and he was born into a German Lutheran family. He was believed to be Ronald Hunkler. Later on is referred to as Ronald Doe or Robbie Mannheim, because Mannheim was dispirited due to the loss of his much-loved aunt, Aunt Harriet. Do you say aunt or aunt?
I say aunt.
Yeah.
But they probably say aunt in Maryland.
Right. I'm just painting a picture here. Mm-hmm.
You are.
She, believe it or not, was a spiritualist that had taught young Ronnie many things about being a spiritualist. One of the things that she taught him was how to use a fucking Ouija board.
Fuck yes.
That's right. The one true way to speak to the dead and or demons. Made by the same people that brought you wonders as, guess who? Candyland in operation.
Hasbro.
Yep. By the way, I think Operation was the beginning of my anxiety.
100%. That one. What was the other one with the timer and the tic-tac-toe?
Oh, God.
That fucking thing stressed me the fuck out.
Boggle?
It was
those were the words that would pop out at you.
Yeah. This was like tic-tac-toe. Was it tic-tac-toe or something? It was something where you would have to put stuff in right away and then it would blow up. If not,
it would just, Anyway.
Yeah. Jenga, too. Jenga's another one.
Okay, so after Harriet's passing in the early January 1949, Ronnie, or whatever, we'll call him Ron, started to have many strange experiences. He heard weird scratching noises coming from all around the house. Rats, you say?
I do.
Fuck no. Obviously not rats or mice.
Giant roaches, then.
Water began to drip from pipes and walls for no reason. Bad plumbing? Fuck no. He would also experience things like his bed would just start moving, like shaking. Not a waterbed.
Little brother under the bed shaking it?
It's weird, right?
Fuck no.
That's the one. I didn't find much about what the parents were experiencing themselves, but they were obviously upset and disturbed by what was happening and what was to occur to our little Ron.
For some reason, I picture that this kid is a redhead.
The big gap in his teeth.
And lots of freckles.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, he just doesn't have a soul, so he probably isn't like seeing any of this.
Well, then he probably wouldn't actually be
bothered.
Yeah. Ronald's family. Where's the Ronald's family sought out help from many experts as they could. Doctors, their Lutheran minister, and psychiatrists. Their Lutheran minister actually even suggested that they should seek the help from the local Jesuits. Finally, help came in the form of Father E. Albert Hughes.
Thank God.
Now, he was a local Catholic priest, and he asked his supervisors to perform an exorcism on the boy in late February of 1949. The priest would usually need to go to the big guys at the Vatican for permission to do that, and they would need to bring a case with them, and they would give them the go-ahead and then begin the process of exorcising demons.
And 1 and 2. Kick 'em higher, girls. That kind of
exercising? You're so dumb. So now let's talk about the actual exorcism itself during this time.
Okay.
Hughes needed to strap down the boy to a mattress for the boy's safety and his own, I guess. A ton of people have died or been seriously injured doing this kind of process. So they'd like to tie him down, apparently.
Through no human effort. They didn't die because somebody fucked up and put a pillow over their face to get them to shut up or something, right? It was
the only way to stop the demon.
The demon's going to kill him. It wasn't me.
So, exactly. Well, he begins to recite his prayers. You know the drill, the power Christ compels you type ish. And now that's all going swimmingly until during the recital of the prayers, Ronald broke off a piece of the mattress spring.
What?
And slashed the priest across his shoulders, which abruptly ended the exorcism.
All right. No.
Okay, now that was my question. I was like, well, how does a little boy do this while being tied up or even not tied up unless it was such a shit bed and there was already springs and shit poking out of it?
Yeah, I mean, but usually those are steel, right?
What? Those
are usually steel, right? Springs?
Maybe. I'm not really sure.
Especially back then.
Right? Like it could have been pretty pliable.
Because they get rusty. You know, like how you see a box or like a mattress that's like kind of broken and old, and it gets rusty on the inside.
Sure.
So that's going to be steel.
So I hope he had fucking, you know, some
tetanus shots.
Tetanus shots done.
Jackie, tell us if those were available yet. I don't remember. But anyway, like the amount of like wiggling back and forth you'd have to do.
Well, I thought he was tied up too.
Yeah,
if
but I'm
he's
just
tied
saying,
up, how is he able to do
even
this?
if he wasn't, the amount of wiggling you'd have to do to break off a spring would take forever. First of all.
Yeah.
And then you're tied up on top of it?
Yeah. It seems a little weird. So now, a few days later, scratches started to appear on the young boy.
Oh.
Now, apparently, these scratches were not done by the boy, as the parents and others had actually witnessed the scratches occur without anyone touching the kiddo.
Hmm.
So one of the scratches began to form the word Lewis, which somehow indicated to the boy's mother that the family needed to move to St. Louis, obviously. You
don't think it was like a really bad demon, like a bad spelling demon that was trying to spell Lucifer but didn't know how?
Lucifer? Lucifer?
Lucifer. Oh my God, we need a shirt.
So, you know, they had relatives living there as well, which I think, you know, they were hoping to find some kind of salvation, remove the kid from the scenario and put him someplace better.
Yeah.
Now, a cousin of theirs was attending the St. Louis University while this was all going on.
Okay, but hold on a second. I just want to go back to this because, like, this is insane that even if this is real, even if the demon or whatever is scratching Lewis into his arm, why are you going to be like, oh, I know, I'll move to St. Louis because the arm scratch told me to.
Right. In which St. Louis?
That seems so bizarre.
And why would a demon want you to go to a place where there's a saint?
Right. I don't know.
Never mind. So that was another reason to move there. They wanted that support through these hard times, right? The cousin that went to St. Louis University got that support to them by putting the family in touch with another priest by the name of Father Walter H. Halloran and Reverend William Bowdern. And after they consulted with the superiors and the university's president, they decided to go ahead and perform another exorcism on the young Ronald with the help of several other assistants. Mm-hmm. They all gathered at the residence on Roanoke Drive in March of 1949, which we should cover that story. The Roanoke colony that disappeared, like the entire colony just disappears. Anyway, so you can see a lot of this has been occurring during a very short period of time. You know, we're February, March right now. So what did they witness? Well, they witnessed pretty much what was happening at the other residence in Maryland. They watched scratches popping up out of nowhere on the boy's body, and they watched as the mattress began to move violently. The kid would talk in what seemed to be other languages in almost demonic voice. So during these strange occurrences, the two priests, Bowdern and Halloran, according to their reports, started noticing strange patterns emerging in his behavior. Mainly, during the day, he was quite normal, whatever kid. But at night, he would go to bed and he would begin exhibiting strange behaviors. These behaviors included screaming a lot and began to have very wild outbursts. But I mean, it kind of sounds like a typical kid. We both have teenagers.
He just sounds like an asshole kid.
I want to go to bed.
Fuck you, man.
Now, Ron would also enter an almost trance-like state, and he would begin making really scary guttural sounds. Sounds that a normal child fighting to go to bed wouldn't necessarily make. The priest also stated that they would see objects fly mysteriously around the room, like things that were on the dresser would jump off and hit the wall as if someone just kind of flicked it off, you know? And when the priests were in the boy's presence, the boy would react violently, especially when the priest presented any sacred objects to the boy. Okay, this went on for weeks. You're having a problem over here.
I'm trying not to be like this jaded. I feel like you've turned me into this like skeptic asshole who doesn't believe anything anymore. And I kind of am mad about it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is all real, bro.
Thank you.
Every spooky thing we've talked about has occurred. It's the most logical way to think about it.
Makes me feel better.
Good. Okay, so this went on for weeks, and at one point, Father Bowdern reported seeing an X form from the scratches on the boy's chest, which he believed was signifying the number 10, Roman numeral, you know. So this led the priest to believe that he was possessed by 10 separate demons. I myself only have 4 or 5.
That is a very large leap in logic.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's an X. It must be 10, and it must be all the demons.
It would be funny if it was even like deeper than that. Like that must be a 10. What does 10 signify? Well, I've had 10 wives. And
I remember being 10.
yeah.
I was in the 4th grade.
Oh shit, he has 10 demons in him.
I have 10 toes. On another occasion, the priest watched a pitchfork-shaped pattern appear on the boy's thigh and went all the way down to his ankle. Things like this would occur every night for over a month. So this kiddo must have been very damaged.
Okay, but if it occurred every night, wouldn't he just have scratches all over his body all the time?
Yeah, apparently he did.
Are there photos of this?
No.
Of course not.
No. I mean, how long can this go on before he actually needs medical attention?
What do you think this is? You think everybody has a camera? 1949, you asshole?
Well, I mean, especially if they were doing it the way they were doing it with like, you know, the church being present and everything. They don't want, you know, any type of record probably because so many people have had issues with exorcisms in the past.
Fair.
But these two priests never gave up on the boy. They never gave up hope, you know, or their faith. They continued to do the exorcism over and over again, but night after night, but nothing changed. The behavior continued. One night, March 20th to be exact, the exorcism elevated to a very unsafe and very unhealthy level, or just plain fucked up.
Okay.
Ronald urinated all over the bed and himself and others, and he began cursing and shouting at the two priests. Why'd you left the urinating?
Because he just sounds like a drunk asshole kid.
Get out of my room.
I gotta fucking piss, you bitch.
So the parents at this point had enough of the situation, and they ended up taking him to the Alexan Brothers Hospital in St. Louis for more serious help. And honestly, I wonder if maybe they should have done that there a little bit sooner.
In the first place?
Yeah, just saying, you know. And then finally, a miracle occurred on April 18th in the boys' hotel hospital room, excuse me.
His luxury suite?
His luxury penthouse fucking suite. It was the Monday after Easter. Ooh, that's coming up very soon. And Ronald had been having seizures, and he continued to yell at the priest and said things like, Satan will always be with me. The priest then laid holy relics, crucifixes, medals, medallions, and rosaries on the boy.
So, okay, so they're like, okay, yeah, no, go ahead and take him to the hospital, but we're going to also come and continue traumatizing your child.
At 10:45 p.m. that night, the priests that were there called on Saint Michael, who was, as it were, in religion, an archangel, a spiritual warrior in the battle of good versus evil. Yep. In art, he's often depicted with a sword, a banner, or scales, and is often showing vanquishing Satan.
He usually looks pretty ripped, too.
Yeah, he's fucking buff.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a badass, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably good to give him a holler.
For sure, especially in that situation. You don't want him pissing on the bed again.
So, I mean, rubber sheets it is.
Forever.
Ron. So they all shouted Satan for some reason, and saying that St. Michael would battle him for Ronald's soul and body. And according to reports, 7 minutes later, Ronald came out of his trance and said, "He's gone." They shouted, "Yay!"
Yay.
And then the boy just began to describe how he had a vision that St. Michael had vanquished Satan on the great battlefield.
All right, so if you have that in your back pocket, like why not just do that in the first place?
Every single
time.
exorcism.
Fuck it. You know what? St.
Michael.
Come on.
Hey.
We got some shit you got to take care of, man.
So according to Father Bowdern and Reverend Holloran, the strange happenings and behavior suddenly stopped. And Ronald lived a perfectly normal life after that. Okay?
Wow.
Nobody would ever have heard of the story of the exorcism of Ronald Doe if it hadn't been published in the Washington Post in August of 1949. Nor would it have become the basis for the movie The Exorcist. That's right, The Exorcist. The article in the Washington Post was very scarce on details of the story, and it did not give the name of the boy at all, whether it was Roland Doe, Ronald Hunkler, or Robbie Mannheim, and the cases wouldn't be talked about again for more than 20 years. So let's talk real quick about the movie Exorcist and compare it to the story of Ronald Doe for a minute, can we? Thanks.
We certainly can, sir. Permission granted.
Permission granted. So in the year 1971, author William Peter Blatley wrote The Exorcist based on the unofficial diaries kept by Father Bowdern and Reverend Holloran, which I would really like to read and see firsthand. The book was a hit and eventually led to the movie that we all know and love in 1973. One of the first movies I watched as a child that completely scared the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. And yes, as I read that line, I realized how fucked off that is.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first really scary movie?
Dude, it was fucking First, it was Poltergeist when I was 3.
Poltergeist 2.
And Children of the Corn when I was 5.
Yeah.
Which was also fucking creepy as fuck.
Yeah. And I remember I watched The Exorcist, and I remember thinking that when she went downstairs and peed all over the floor, that was a really scary situation, because I was like, that's what scared me, because it was like more like the public humiliation part of it. But anyway.
Cue to Alex at 17.
Yep. So the movie changed the story quite a bit, as movies do to support the story they are writing, with such things as like changing the gender of the main character from a 13-year-old boy to a 12-year-old girl named Regan. The movie also takes place in Washington, D.C. and in Georgetown area, which is kind of true because Ron was hospitalized for a week in Georgetown Hospital. So in the movie, shouting, scratches, spitting, and cursing up a storm all showed, what Ronald was kind of going through. But the boy's head never turned all the way around like it did in the film for obvious reasons, because he would be dead. Also, he never, vomited pea soup all over the place during his episodes. And he also never used a bloody cross to help him masturbate.
Thank God.
Yeah. That was a very disturbing scene.
Yeah.
So after the exorcism of Roland or Ronald or whatever, his family moved back to East Coast to resume a normal life. Some sources, which call him Robbie Mannheim, said that he had found a wife and started up a family there. He was reported to have named his firstborn boy after Michael, St. Michael, the saint that supposedly saved his soul. If he were still alive, he would be in his late 80s by now.
Oh, wow.
So as for the rest of the people from our story, Father William Bodern passed away in 1983 after serving the church for decades. Reverend Halloran passed away in 2005 of cancer. By the way, fuck cancer. And he was the last of the participants of the team that performed the exorcism of Ronald Doe. So, after the exorcism in St. Louis at the Alexan Brothers Hospital, the staff were boarded up and sealed the room in which the exorcism took place. And to this day, that room has never been used. And the house where the family lived there is now a vacant lot after the home was abandoned in the 1960s and fell derelict, and they just,
rightfully so.
Yeah. And while most experts on the story actually believe that the name of Ronald Doe to actually be Ronald Hunkler, only one person actually knows the truth. Author Thomas B. Allen wrote a book based on the story in 1993 called Possessed. And in the book, which uses Halloran's detailed accounts, claims to have uncovered the true identity of the subject, but he said he will never reveal the real name. So, what do you think?
Well, I kind of feel like I've been telling you what I think of the whole time. It's a good story. It's a very good story. It's a creepy story. I've never seen anybody who is possessed
that you knew of.
Right, that I knew of. So it's hard for me to even believe in it. That's not to say it's not real, because I don't know. But I've never had any experience with it. Yeah, I was making a lot of jokes about this kid. It sounds like he was going through a hard time. It sounds like he was having a difficult, challenging time, and his family was having a difficult, challenging time.
And they were looking for help wherever they could.
Looking for help wherever they could.
Yeah. Well, and we also had to think, back in the day, a lot of people with just, straight up mental illness, mental health issues, they thought that they were possessed because they weren't just, whatever.
It'd be cool to get somebody on the show who has actually done an exorcism,
or been a part of
or
it
been
somehow,
a part of it,
had
or
an
been near
exorciser
it.
done.
Yeah, because I don't want to dismiss like people's religion and stuff like that. Like that's their personal.
That's my job.
Beliefs. That's your job. Everyone's entitled to have their beliefs, but I have a hard time with this. I just think that this kid had some problems, and I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But it did lead to one of the scariest movies of all time.
It really did, yeah. And it's hard not to picture the movie when talking about this story.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit silly in a sense because, that movie took it so fucking far.
Way too far.
With the masturbation of the cross and like the spinning of the head and floating up off the bed and,
projectile vomiting everywhere.
Yeah, projectile vomiting.
That's only happened to me one time. I was real drunk.
Oh, college years.
I was real drunk.
But anyway, that's my story.
Wow. That was good, man. I've never heard that story. That was a good episode.
I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you for sharing that history. Did you look into any of the stuff around the cast and crew being cursed?
No, I didn't really delve into the movie too much. I was kind of just focused on this Ron kid.
Because I think it's a cool.
But there's been a lot of movies that have been happened that, Poltergeist, they said that was cursed. Like several people died, and even the main character, little Carol Ann, died. It got cold, or I forget what it was. Maybe it was something more serious, but still,
Yeah. Maybe we could do that another time too, like cursed movie sets.
Ooh, cursed movies. Yeah, cursed movies to watch, because I've actually heard there's a few of those.
Cool, man. That was cool.
Great. I'm glad you enjoyed.
Great. Awesome.
Fine.
Bye. If you enjoy listening to the show, I mean, maybe you do. I don't know why you would, but if you did, then support us. Tell your friends about us. Sign up for things like Patreon.
Coffee.
Yep. ko-fi.com/dosspookquenos.
Share, rate, subscribe. A lot of fun stuff.
And give us some scary stories for Spooky Sheet. Even if it's just a recommendation of something we should focus on.
Totally.
Cool. And with that,
stay spooky.
peace.